Hi everyone, it's Monica with Scrap Saturdays. I hope you're all doing well. I'm going to use that last little bit of hip kit paper to create this layout, and I've chosen a beautiful photo of my daughter when we went to Cuba for my 40th birthday. And I do have an underwater camera, and I usually take it into the water so that I can capture some memories, and I really love this photo. And at the end of this process video, there will be some close-ups of the layout so that you can see what I'm talking about. But there's just this awesome glare. It looks like liquid glass surrounding her, the way that she's floating in the water. And yeah, I was just inspired. I have this stamp set from Hampton Arts. It's from Michael's, and I've never used it, believe it or not. You can see my struggling when I'm trying to rip it off of its packaging. And it has these beautiful wings and heart type motif. It almost reminds me of like tattoo stamps, if I could say that. And so I pulled it out the other day and I thought, oh, wow, you know, I'd love to use these wings. I'd love to stamp them like I stamped my flowers. I pulled it out after I did those flowers with the gold embossing and the resist ink. And I didn't know what kind of a layout I wanted to use it on. Sometimes I get inspired by something, but I never know what the end result is. So I really want to tell you, look through your stash. Look through something that you haven't, gone through, like maybe your stamps or maybe your papers or whatever it is. But I think I came across this one for last Scrap Saturday at my sister-in-law's house. And so I stamped 2 sets of wings and 2 sets of the heart and the wings. And I'm using the Ranger, let's see, what is it called? It is called Liquid Platinum. I wrote it down. I know. I'm looking at my list and I don't know where I wrote it down. And so I fussy cut, and fussy cutting is still not my forte. It's not my favorite thing, but I like it. I know I have to do it because I want this look. And I cut out 2 of them, or I stamped 2 of them because I wanted to do some sort of layering. It's funny because now I know, so I'm cheating. I know what my layout looks like, but when I was doing this, I had an idea in my head. I thought I was going to layer both wings behind her, and it didn't turn out that way. And so I'm just using my cutter bee, and I'm just trying to show you, still working with my camera. And here's the Heidi Swap ink in Sweet Mint and Seafoam. And those are my favorite colors. I love that one's a soft green, and I love that one's a darker teal. And I love the way they come out on that. And it's just white Recollections paper. It's nothing special. I always buy a pack, and that's where I kind of like to do my distressing or my kind of mixed media background. It's probably one of my oldest go-to type styles where I like to, you're going to see here, I'm going to spray some more of the other color, and then I come into that top left corner right just above the wings, and I use the rest of the mist. And I like to create a beautiful misted background that I tear up that paper and kind of layer behind my photo. I wasn't really intending on using very much patterned paper. I kind of just wanted it to be very simple, but true to a Monica style. I really do like grunge. I do like, I don't know if it's vintage, but I remember I've said it before where I really liked doing like a Marion Smith type background where I used to distress all my mini albums and everything was very grungy. Is that the word, or is it shabby chic? Something like that. So as you see here, I'm just drying everything up and I love it. Those are my favorite colors. Gold and teal. Yeah, I'm in heaven with that. So I dry it all up and I try to kind of maneuver around saving that little chunk there, and I try to cut it into a square or a rectangle as best as I can. And then here I go again. I'm going to spare you. Don't worry. I'm going to be fussy cutting out these wings, and they really turn out, I say they turn out pretty decent. I really like them. I don't fussy cut very well at all. Yeah, I wish there was a die, a coordinating die for every stamp set that I really like to stamp and cut out. So in order to camouflage most of my awkward fussy cutting, I've used the Distress ink in Walnut Stain. It's very dried out, so it doesn't come out in that harsh darkness that it used to have. And my little stamp pad, or my pad at the bottom of my distressing tool, it needs to be replaced, but I still go for it because if I stop for everything, then we never get anything done, right? But this at least fades out and kind of camouflages my fussy cutting. So here's where I'm going to use that background that I created with the leftover mists and sprays. And this is where my idea was to layer 2 wings, right? But I'm like, nah, it doesn't really look like wings. It looks like horns, or I don't know. It wasn't giving me the fairy vibe that I wanted, or the angelic vibe that I was looking for. And I cut this one in half because I'm like, is it better like this? No, I'm not feeling it. But I play around with it, and I just, the process is there. And sometimes I wonder, like, should I take this all out? But no, you need to watch it. You must watch it. And so this is where I tear the background up, and then I divide the sheets, or I divide that piece of paper so that both sides have that equal misting, and I love the way it looks. So the other part of what I want to do when I do these voiceovers is maybe, talk about what I think and how I feel, or what I think you should be feeling, or whatever I can do to inspire you beyond just telling you what I'm doing, because you can clearly see, it's the same old, put something here, move it around there. But I want you to really think, like, you see, this photo of Gabriella reminds me of what we should be doing, or what you need for yourself today, or maybe last week, or something that you're looking within yourself, and that's to let go. And I find that kids know how to do that so well, and it's part of what really made me gravitate to this photo. Sometimes I'm, in a very melancholy type mood where I really need to scrapbook for so much more than just creating a memory. It's such a selfish hobby for me, and it really fulfills me. And I love the way that she's so serene, that she's truly just allowing herself to surrender into the water, and she's just floating, and she's trusting that the ocean's going to keep her afloat. And I think sometimes as adults, we forget that. We forget that we can just let go, and that we all have wings, some kind of magical wings on our back that get tired, they get boggled down, and they get dusty and tired of holding us up sometimes through so many things that come our way, whether it's work, or whether it's being that amazing soccer mom, or just our friends and family, and just life in general, right? But the wings are still there, and sometimes we have to remind ourselves that we need to just let them fly. We need to let them expand and hold us up when we need them the most. And so this picture really, really, resonated with me. I just saw the surrender in it, and I thought, wow, like, yeah, this is a photo I'm going to use the wing stamps on for sure. And it was just so peaceful. And 2017, we're already in February. I believe this is the weekend before Valentine's Day, so just everything. Sadly, I finished taking down the last of my Christmas decorations, some stuff that I had on top of my kitchen cupboards and things like that, and I vacuumed a little bit more, and I just felt that need to tidy up today. And then I came down to my craft room, and I didn't watch any Netflix, I didn't even play any music, and I just sat in here and I created this. I kind of went back to that old type feeling Monica, where I just thought, yeah, I need to do a very magical layout, something that just makes me complete today. So I'm just finishing up with a placement. I think I'm happy now. I added an acetate piece that had some gold stripes to it behind the photo as a grounding as well, just to bring in some more gold. And like I said, I didn't use any other pattern paper. The butterfly canvas tag is a Recollections one. I added some, foam dots behind the wings as well, because I really wanted them to lift off. Kind of like they're not the extension of her arms, but they're coming from the middle of her back, or towards the bottom of her back. I used the Dear Lizzie stickers in Noted, and the first piece of acetate that I put it on, the backing of the stickers came off, and so I was thought, oh dear. So I wasted one of those because I wanted the letters to be a little bit tighter close together. But I glued it directly, as you can see, onto the back of the photo, and I just love the way that it's floating or flying off the back of that photo. And so I just placed those misted pieces of paper a little bit further apart so that you could see some more of that beautiful goodness. And then just coming in with my hot glue, because that's the easiest thing. And I fuss a little bit with that title. I've had that. I don't know who made it or where I got it from, but I needed another cork element, and I've wanted to use it up. I've picked it up 100 times, and it says, "Let me tell you a secret." Yep, that's what it says. Let me tell you a secret. And so I'm loving it. I'm really I'm totally in the zone. I'm just aware of what I'm doing, but in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, I just love the way it turns out. And I know it's a longer video. When you do a little bit of, mixed media, when you do stamping and fussy cutting, it does require more of your time. And it does, you need to just let go and sometimes have fun and go back and ground yourself into that same old style that you really like. And I think you guys know what I mean. I think we all kind of have one style that we can gravitate to. I watch process videos just like the rest of you do. And I always find that there's always, I'll hear Missy say it or anybody else that I watch. They'll say, this is, my typical style. It's my typical design. It's my comfort zone. And sometimes you just have to go there. You have to go right to your comfort zone so that you can get back into the groove of scrapbooking and just do it. Don't overthink it. Just let go, right? It's just like Gabriella floating. If you overthink it, you'll sink. If you overthink it, you won't try. And so trying and doing and being in that creative zone, that's all that you have to do. There's no other worries of, I know we fumble a little bit, like I said. This title, I was wondering where or how high I wanted it to go, so I had to put some extra foam behind it. And, if I were to think like that about every little piece, and it would take me, quadruple the time. And I'm not saying not to think about it, but letting go a little bit, allowing it to just be, allowing it to just come into its little place. So let me know. Let me know what your favorite style is, or what's something that's easy for you to gravitate to. And I'm also bringing in one of my homemade circles, the one that says "Love This." It's a Scraptastic stamp. And I have to make some more because I really enjoyed those. I've been using them on my layouts quite a bit. And I do find that since I don't have any kits coming in, I'm only using what I have in my stash, that I'm really liking making my own homemade embellishments. I like stamping a lot. I like stamping with the gold and embossing quite a bit. I let that circle come to the bottom. I really do like the way it looks when I leave a manufacturing strip and then I come down and I put it back up, but it takes away from the beautiful paper, and then I put it on that side, but I don't like it there. And I just finished telling you not to think and overthink things, right? But it's going to live down there on the bottom, I promise. And I'm still trying to think of what I can do with the extra wings up there. And I'm thinking, I don't know. And then I come down and I put this one underneath and I'm like, ooh, that's where the second one goes. I really like that because I've always had it since the beginning that I wanted to do a double layered wing somewhere. But behind the two top wings that come out from Gabriella's back, no, that I don't like. I don't like the way it looks, and it didn't feel right, even though I gave it a minute and I'm like, no. So those go away. But the double wings behind the one that has the heart just on top of the corner of the title is beautiful to me. I really liked it. And I actually don't know if I did it yet, but I bend the top wings sort of like curving down so that the tips point down. And I just love the way it looks. It was just amazing to me. My homemade tag using my Felicity Jane stamp that says love, and it's also in the same gold liquid platinum embossing powder, and I just tuck that in there, and it kind of balanced out the other side, but I really love it. I loved it. And then I put down this ampersand on top of the heart, and I glue it last, I think. And then I have these spectacular gold sequins. They came with these mason jar ephemera package that I had a long time ago, and I spared you the whole painful one by one with my tweezer of gluing them down, and I just put them in groups of 3s. So yes, we're winding down now. I've got my mists out. You know what comes next. It's mists and some stamping. And I love this color. I do 4. I do the corners. And I just felt that sometimes I only do 3, but here I did all 4 corners, and I just love the way it looks. And so I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for, joining me. I want to thank you for being inspired. I want to thank you so much for the comments that you leave me. I don't know how to thank you all, but I hope that you know I'm so happy that I do inspire you. Believe me, that's the only reason. I really want you to find something that gives you the euphoria that I get. If scrapbooking truly is your hobby or your passion, then go for it. Don't compare yourself to anybody else, but let your wings guide you. Find what makes you happy and do it. And I truly mean that. I mean, go turn up the music if you need to. Do whatever you need in your little corner, even if your kids are playing with you or your pets are lying with you or whatever it is. 5 minutes, let it be 20 minutes. Let yourself go for 30 minutes. Allow the ocean to take you. Allow your wings to fly and come up with whatever makes you happy. There's no right or wrong. There's just one photo and so many beautiful pieces of paper. Take care, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Lots of hugs, and I'll see you soon.